after scraping, I've sanded the back with 120 and 220 and 320 grit paper and put my autograph and my logo inside, and now I can glue the back to the sides. So, oops. Okay, there we go. Gluing the top to the sides. We don't put the sides in a mold this time. Just clean the guitar on the inside first, and then maybe have some ooze out there of your previous gluing. We have a body. If you play music in your workshop, you'll probably feel some notes resonate in the guitar if you didn't build too thick a top and back. If you feel all the notes resonate on your guitar, then maybe the plates are too thin, but only time will tell as the guitar's not finished yet, so don't give up. Let's see, binding now. There's a couple of ways to go about that. One would be plastic binding, of course. Nothing wrong with that. I don't use it, but there's really nothing wrong with it. What I use is wood bindings or wooden bindings, and I like to either make a nice contrast between the sides and the binding material, or use the same color scheme. So in this case, the same would be maple, and sometimes I even cut it from the same side and use that for binding, or in this case, to make a nice contrast, would be to use koa or rosewood or ebony. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on this guitar yet, so we have a bit of a cliffhanger there, but all will be revealed in the next scene or video, depending on how we're going to cut this. Time to cut the binding channel. I've cleaned up the sides a bit and also removed any overhang that might have been there from the plates. And now it's time to cut the binding channel, and I use a modified version of StewMax True Binding channel thingy, and that comes with a cradle, which is really nice to put the guitar in, and it falls onto the guitar. You route a bit like this, and it like this, and then you just move the guitar under the router, and it gives you a really nice and even binding channel. For this guitar, I'm using rosewood binding, and then black, white, and black purfling. And the rosewood was bent just the same way as we bent the sides, so we use the jig to do that. Let me show you how this works. I use and Bob's your uncle. So let's see, there were two things I wanted to say about this, and that's I use a transformer to get the RPM of the router down a bit, because at the diameter of the router bit we're working with 30,000 or 25,000 RPM is a bit much, so I have a transformer to get down a bit. If you have a digital or router, then it should be on the router itself, on the machine. When you're routing the channel, don't go against the grain, always go with the grain of the wood, so it doesn't splinter. So you go up here and down here, same on the other side, and up here and up here, and this you divide into two as well, and then you turn the body around and do the other side, and then we're ready to glue the binding.